How you doing, everybody? It's Bad Brad here on this glorious Saturday night. Yes, indeed. And it has been a glorious day. Paul is here with the wrench. Rhonda is here. Man, I've had an amazing day. We had a pizza party with Mr. Dave Strong. I need to post a picture so you guys can all see. We had a glorious day. Had some pretty good little pizza place right down the street. And yeah, we've had an awesome day. Here we are live. Dad Brad is in full effect. We're gonna crack open a sparkling beverage. Let's rock and roll. Shane Shrimp, how you doing? Leah, how you doing? We're hanging. Here we are. This is the thumbnail, dude. So yeah, it was a great day, Dave. Man, it's great. So here's the deal. I haven't seen Dave in person in what, 35 years probably? Yeah, 35 years, dude. Will Mia Lisa or Ace make an appearance? Chris Alexander? Probably all three, bro. Probably all three. Scott, glad to have you here. Paul is here. And he's got the wrench. Dave's got the wrench. Yeah, Dave, it was probably 1990. That's probably an accurate assessment. It's been a long time since we rocked and rolled. And yeah, we're older and wiser now. Older and wiser, so we're able to go have some pizza without destroying ourselves. It was great, man. It was a great day. All right, Chris, not a problem. Just come back, bop back in after you're done, man. I appreciate you dropping in. Yes, great Led Zeppelin song because it has been a long time since we. Yes, Scott, let's everybody hit the thumbs up. Let's get this thing rocking tonight. Let's take advantage of the time. You know, sometimes it gets to be the end of the day. 6 p.m. and I go, oh man, I got to go live and I'm feeling tired and all that. And then all of a sudden I know this is like gives you the thank you, Radio Chaos. Yes, the wig is fantabulous right now. Woo! It's really like a almost a reverse Ric Flair right now. And I was just talking with my wife. P-Funk was not here. No, P-Funk was not here today. Here's the deal. I was talking with my wife just seconds ago. We were literally looking on the computer, and my wife's like, wow, you really need a haircut. And I'm like, I know. And I don't have anybody down here. It's a generational thing now because I will look for a stylist. If I can find a rock and roll stylist down here, that's who I will go to. But like I'll look on the website. I just looked on it. My wife says, look at South Tampa. That's where all the hip stuff is. So I look on South Tampa. I pull up the highest rated salon. I see a girl because I don't like dudes cutting my hair. It's just a thing I have. I don't want dudes cutting my hair, bro. So I go on the website and I see a stylist and I go, oh, she does shags. Erickson, thank you so much. Erickson says no haircuts allowed. Dude, but what about a trim, Erickson? Get it styled so that it really gets out of hand. Now, right now, it looks pretty good now because I put some water in it about a half hour ago and kind of did it and shaved because frankly, I needed to get the second wind. Yeah, you got to cut the dead ends and all that stuff. And man, but I look on these websites and I see the stylists and they put their favorite musical artist and I'll see like Doja Cat. And I'm like, if I go get my hair cut from somebody whose musical inspiration is Doja Cat, when I say I want the Nigel Tufnell Jeff Beck special, they're not going to know what the hell I'm talking about. So I'm almost like I need to find somebody older, right? That at least has some idea of rock and roll. Scott says, get a mohawk and grow a zappa. Yeah, get that. And then, man, so, yeah, but that Chris says, take pictures with you. Well, here's the deal, man. I found a place down the road. And this is a while back when I got one haircut down here. And I go to this place because it was kind of like it made itself out to be a rocking salon or whatever. And I get there, and it's very important because I'm about to go do X5, and I'm trying to get the hairstyle dialed in and all this. And I get there, and I'm on time, and the stylist is like 20 minutes late and kind of just shuffles in, and I'm trying to get her motivated. Like, look, this is really important. I'm about to go do this thing, and I need my hair to look like this. And she's like, oh yeah, yeah. And she kind of does it. She kind of cuts the hair, but then, she's like, oh, well, you can buy this type of scissors on Amazon, and you can cut this yourself. And I'm thinking, I don't want to cut it myself. I don't want that responsibility. I need somebody who knows what they're doing. I know Keith Richards, I think, used to cut his own hair, but I don't have time for that. I don't want to mess up. So anyway, man, that's what's going on with that. So Center Hill, yeah, glad to have you here, man. Glad to have everybody here. Erickson says no haircuts. Right now, we're not getting any because I can't find anybody. High and tight, Dave. You know what? That might have to be what I have to do is high and tight because I can't. The last cut I got at Supercuts down the road, and it was not a good experience. Yeah, you're right, Slow. Do not self-cut. Absolutely. So have a good night. Have a good night, Dave. Thank you for being here, brother. Go have some kayaking fun. Thank you for popping in. I don't have Red Bull tonight, Chaos. We do have one in the fridge, but this is it's different than a daytime show. This is, it'll be 8 o'clock when we finish tonight. The family's going to want to start going to bed at 9:30 or whatever, and I'll be ready to go on a rager, and it's just not a good combination of energy. So, but here's the deal. I did pound a good swig of unsweet tea just before, literally seconds before the live broadcast started. So that catapulted me into that first moment. Holly is here. Leah is here. Chris Alexander. Check out the pictures. Yes, Dave, thanks for posting those. Here's the weird thing, man. We have this community page, right? But the problem is this. The community page, I can't ever seem to get on it to see what people are posting. And it's weird, man. I don't know how it pops up for everybody else, but I can't. That's why, if you notice, I don't comment much on those community page things because it's hard to access. I can't seem to access it from my computer. It's weird, man. It's weird. So Wavelength is pounding IPAs, bro. Well, hey, Wave, salute, bro. Salute. I'm glad to have you here. Link is on your homepage. Okay, I guess I need to go to my homepage and treat it like I'm just visiting my page. I guess that's what I need to do. Happy Saturday to Dwayne. Trippy is here. Scorpions canceled third cons in a row due to Klaus Mines bacterial bronchitis. Oh, man. Dude, I hate to hear that. Look, dude, I know, look, being Klaus Mine and having to sing those songs, I actually, now that I'm older, I actually enjoy listening to the Scorpions sometimes. I like watching Big City Nights, that music video. Is anybody familiar with that? I like watching that video. Maybe those who have seen that video maybe know why. So Let's see. Center Hill says, I would suggest if you, Brad, want to play any covers, you can use Twitch and then play whatever you want. Well, here's the deal, man. I don't really want to play covers online. And you know, I'm one of those players, man. I was thinking about this. We got a lot to talk about tonight. Um, I'm one of those players that I really thrive when I'm playing in a good band, when I've got a good drummer, when I've got a good bass player, and where we can make things happen, create cool moments, spontaneous moments. And so me playing by myself, playing cover songs on Twitch, there's nothing to create with. Maybe if we were able to Twitch like a trio or something like that, maybe that would be something to do one day. I don't think just me playing along to a drum machine. Yes, Chris, there will be an interview in the morning. Let's see. Let's take a vote. Let's take a vote. I've got, let's see, what do I have I have 3 interviews in the queue. And one of them will go live tomorrow morning. The first interview option is Vicki Hamilton, the former manager of Guns N' Roses. Now, we didn't get deep into Guns N' Roses. I didn't want to make the entire focus. I could have done that, but the conversation didn't really steer that way. We did talk about Guns N' Roses a little bit, but Vicki Hamilton, all right. Then the second option is product demonstrator and product specialist Steve Smith from Marshall Amps. That's the second option that you could see tomorrow. We're going to have a vote. Paul, I need you to kind of keep a rough tally of who is which one wins. Okay, so Steve Smith is the second option, right? Okay, now the third option that we could air tomorrow, and I'm actually was leaning towards doing this one tomorrow, and I'll tell you why. Because Graham Bonnet is out on the road right now. He's getting ready to play Tupelo Music Hall. Our buddy Dave is going to be there and seeing the show. And so Bethany Heavenstone, the bass player for Graham Bonnet, with a special appearance by Graham Bonnet, is the third option. Now, I think just me talking about it right now, I think I realize number 3 is probably the one that needs to air because they're currently on the road. And Bonnet. I think it's Bonnet. What do you guys? I think we can. Yeah, Graham Bonnet, Beth Amy Heavenstone. I'm telling you, that interview, 3 is the one. Yeah, and I'll agree with you. I'll tell you straight up. And both of those other interviews are great interviews. But I think because of the fact that Bonnet is on the road right now, and they're touring right now, that needs to be the one that airs. So the interview is a picture of Bethany Heavenstone playing bass, and the title is Bass Badass Bonnet. Okay, so that is the interview with a special appearance by Graham Bonnet. We are going to air that tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. for the premiere. Join us for the premiere tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, let me tell you something. This is an amazing interview because it starts with the Sunset Strip, and her time playing there will be 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it gets into that. She gets into the business, how cutthroat the music business is. I mean, she had to apologize for getting into it. And I said, no. That's what we do on this channel. If you've got grievances and want to tell what the music business is really like, this is the place to tell it. So, man, she pulls no punches, and she tells it like it is. It's a great interview, and with a special appearance by yes, yeah. Chris, you have nailed it on the head. And let's just say that the interview ends. Leah, it's actually the second because I interviewed Vicky Hamilton first. So yes, this is new. I'm trying to get everybody. I want to have every creed, race, gender, whatever. I want to interview everybody. I want to make sure that we get every angle, you know. And I've been wanting to have a female interview on the channel for a while just to get a different perspective, right? So, man, let's just say that the interview ends and they're gonna, Graham and Bethany are going to, well, you're gonna have to watch the interview and see what happens. Oh, we've got some guests in the house.
Look what we found.
Oh, look.
Got something new that arrived.
No, this is not new.
Oh.
This, I was cleaning out some stuff. Oh my God. This is epic. Okay. You've got to see this. My first distortion pedal back in probably 1978, 1979 is this pedal right here. My wife just pulled this box. I grabbed this out of the garage. This is the first distortion pedal I ever owned. I still have it, right? But it is in brutal condition.
It looks brand
Look
new.
at the back. Somebody electrical taped it. It's missing the back. It's in rough shape. I think I'm going to send this to a guy and have him refurbish it. Just clean it up, make sure it all works. This is antique. This is a script logo MXR Distortion Plus, right?
There's an antique too.
And there's Antique Ace. But yeah, this, I'm glad that she just happened to bring this to me. Lisa just said, "Here's this box." Oh, you must have bought. She goes, "Oh, you bought something new." Yeah, I bought something new. Does this look new?
It does.
Yeah, it looks new, all right. I mean, look, it's missing a knob. It's missing the thread on the thing because I had two of these, and I would sometimes scarf pieces off the other one to maintain this one. But yeah, this is the original. This is the original pedal.
Hi, Paul.
You can see inside there. Yeah, this thing is in rough shape, but
it looks amazing.
Yeah, highly distressed. I bet you if I plugged a battery into it and plugged it in, it would probably still work. But yeah, this thing is.
Someone just called me Mrs. Bad Brad. You know, I have a shirt that says Mrs. Bad Brad.
Tell them about the wedding shirts. What were the wedding shirts? Didn't it say like they were like it had Bad Brad or something on it, Mrs. Bad Brad or something, didn't it?
Yeah, and then I think I also had a sash too that said like rock
sash.
Star or something. I'll find the shirt for the next go live. Is this supposed to be Ace's toy?
No, it's Mia's toy. Mia got this today.
She said it like burps.
It burps.
Why would you buy her something that burps?
See?
Now you guys know what I have to deal with.
It's what we got, dude.
I sent him to Walmart because I didn't want to go. Tell them the story.
She hates going to Walmart,
I hate it. Especially the Zephyr Hills one.
It was.
Mia loves that one.
Hey, they're getting rid of all the Ninja Turtle stuff, so it's like the last of the stuff.
Was this half off? I hope.
That was only $4.
Should have been like 50 cents.
It should have been 10 cents. But yeah, that's the deal with that. And then look at this Pepito.
Well, he feels like he struck gold today. We found all his old toys.
We found all of his old toys. You found my old distortion box. I found some cool pedals today, and I found a green emerald tube screamer that was. I've had that's actually an anniversary
I
one.
wonder what we could find in that closet if you let me organize.
I've already organized it this weekend. It's already better than it was. It is. I cleaned out a lot. I cleaned out a lot. It's not perfect, but I've actually straightened up the area. It's actually better than it was.
Brad's not letting me in that closet to put like shelves and everything in there.
Don't need them, bro.
We do need them, bro.
We don't need shelves, bro.
He doesn't understand the need for closet systems, so.
Try the screamer with the tri-tube. That would be a good combination.
Don't go in the closet. Brad hit a pair of your shoes and he's destroyed.
Yeah. Bing bong.
No, he probably hit a new guitar, an amp.
No, I hit that new pedal that you just brought me.
Well, it was in a nice cry. Did they see the box? Like,
yeah,
look,
it says
Crybaby. Nice and beautiful.
Yeah, well, I
red.
use the boxes. I use the boxes to put old pedals. I've got a bunch of, like, I found a Shure mic I forgot I had, and that was in a box. And then I opened it up and go, oh, well, here's a mic that I could use. So yeah, that's the deal.
You should have went live today from my new office thing.
Well, we can do that right now.
You can't.
I can do it right now.
You can't.
No, I can't because the internet doesn't work in there.
I know it does on the phone. Oh, you use the.
I use the phone. No, I think I'm using the Wi-Fi right now.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, so it would switch over, and then it would be P-Funk is here. P-Funk still has his DOD overdrive. Hey, the DOD overdrive and the MXR Distortion Plus are almost identical circuits. Almost identical.
Somebody says they're a person.
Somebody, Dwayne says, Brad, is there a person, gig, or dollar amount that will pull you out of touring retirement?
I can answer that question.
Yeah, she'll name some outrageous price and then send me out there in a wheelchair. That's what'll happen.
No, if it was in Florida and like maybe overnight, or if it was not overnight, I'd say 800.
It doesn't work like that.
It could work like that.
If you had
to go to Nashville.
It doesn't work like that. You would have to be available to play dates wherever the dates are
like
planned.
Thailand. We would definitely do something in Thailand.
That wouldn't be.
I don't even have a passport. It expired.
Well, I have a passport, but that's not the point. The point is.
Well, Mia starts.
Who would I even want to go out with? Who would I even want?
Mia and Ace.
$25 at a $10 bar tab. Yeah, dude, $25. Nah, Dwayne. Man. Here's the thing, man. I just don't think. One, I'm not even in Nashville, so that's usually where these things are taken off from. So that's the deal with that. I'm not even not Frankie Valli. No, I would not. Nothing. No oldies gig would make me want to do it. Back in the day when I was on the road, this would be a Jack Daniels bottle. Replace this with Jack Daniels. And the beard would grow, and the hair would grow long, and I'd be acting like a lunatic. It's a fifth of tea, bro. The only people who drink Jack Daniels out of iced tea bottles is the Clash, man. So that's the oh wow, Wave saw Cheech and Chong. All right, is that iced tea, or are you just happy to see me, man? Man, I honestly can't think of somebody that I would really want to tour with. If I was going to play with somebody, I would want it to be something where it's like, I got to play whatever the hell I want. It's a jam band. It'd be some kind of new jam band with like some killer players. And I just get to play some funk rhythm guitar and play some solos and tap dance into the ether. That's what I would want to do. Taylor Swift, no, I don't have any interest in doing any kind of corporate big, show nonsense like that, nor would they be interested in a guy my age. No, they would not be interested in that. If that slot came open, they would get some young cutesy tootsy in there. I would take a gig where I could actually really play and get a great tone, and they cared about the music, and they cared about the players and having a good time and create. Michael Fair just popped in, and he sent me a message last night because he was talking about the Rick Biato video last night, where Rick Biato talked about Jackamo Turra, right? And he was sending me messages, and it was late, and I was getting ready to go to sleep. And I said, night, night, don't let the Jackamos bite, right? So that's why he sent that message. But I don't think, Bo is saying that Biato wimped out. I don't think Biato wimped out, although I think he's gotten softer, and not that there's anything wrong with that, but I think he's got a softer delivery now, maybe. I don't know, but here's the revelation, and I don't think it was soft at all. You can be hard on somebody by just telling the truth. And here's the thing. He said that he had Jackamo on his show. So Jackamo and him made arrangements for him to go on the Rick Biato show, right? And Jackamo went and taped an episode, and because he played so poorly, Rick Biato just decided, I'm not even going to air this episode because the guy can't play. I think that you can't get any harder than saying, I taped an episode and the guy's not good enough to air the episode. I think that's as hard as you can go in on somebody. But let's get deep into this. This is deep stuff. And I've got some sort of inside information of just paying attention to what's going on. There is an instructor that's a great guitar player that taped an episode of Rick Biato and talked about it and said, I went and taped an episode of Rick Biato and I didn't really play good that day. And it didn't really go that well, but that's the way it goes sometimes, and so be it. And I noticed that Rick Biato has not aired that episode. So, hello, Mia. What? You want to come say hi to everybody? Okay. Daddy's trying to have a conversation, and he's talking about a very important topic.
Hello.
But she says hello.
What you eating, Mia?
Apple.
Oh, don't.
Mia.
Can you tell them what kind of apple?
A girl's apple.
A pink. What is it called?
A pink girl's apple.
Pink lady apple.
Pink lady. All right. Well, you pink ladies, let me finish this conversation.
Yeah, I didn't know. What was the debacle?
I'll tell you later.
Oh.
I got to tell them this.
Oh.
So this guy, this player, goes and tapes an episode, and he gets on social media and says, well, I taped an episode of Rick Biato, and it didn't go very well. And that's just the way it goes. Now, I noticed around about this time, Rick Biato had said that he was surprised that guitar players come on his channel and don't realize that he can play, that he can actually play. They had no idea that he's a guitar player. Well, I think that's just not doing your homework. If you're going on Rick Biato's show and you don't really know what this guy could do, Rick Biato is a dangerous man with a guitar. He's a dangerous man, right? And here's the deal. P-Funk, glad to have you here, brother. We missed you today. Here's the deal. So that guy, his episode might not air either, right? And so here's the deal. It got me to thinking, because I think, people like Rick Biato, they always need somebody to come on their show. And here's the deal. I mean, it's not far-fetched to think if I get 100,000 followers, a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years down the line, that maybe I get a shot to go on there. It's a possibility, right? But imagine now I'm realizing, man, if I go on there and he hands me a guitar and I don't play something cool, or I'm having an off day. And look, man, I'll be the first to tell you that, like, I'm not a Guitar Center guitar player. I'm not a like impress people immediately guitar player. I'm more of a guy that plays in a band and plays parts and stuff like that. So it got me to thinking today, man, I need to have a couple things that I can pull out my what. So when I get in situations like that and I can play something. So you got to be ready for these shots. And like I said, man, the recent guy that went on there, and maybe his episode airs or maybe it doesn't, but he said he had a bad day. And look, man, imagine, like, I've seen guys go on Rick Biato. The glassy Strat tone, I would go, you're going to have to plug into whatever amp he has there. He's going to say, look, I've got my Marshall here, you plug into that, right? And look, it's not a Friedman, it's not a modified amp. It's, those amps don't have a ton of gain on their own. So, bringing a pedal board, that would be a wise move, because, I can plug into anything with my board and make something happen, right? I got some tools down on my board where I can dial in some tones, and I can make a Fender Twin sound decent, or I can make a Plexi or whatever else. I can get a little more gain to make it easier to play. But man, it means got to keep those chops up, bro. Got to keep those, got to be able to pull off some stuff. Bo is saying Billy Strings is great, but who can listen to that style for more than 30 minutes? I don't know, man. I'm not a huge bluegrass fan, but I think if the right players were playing it and I was in the right state of mind, I think I probably could. In fact, I did sit through me and my wife, she got tickets to see Vince Gill. And my wife didn't realize it was a bluegrass concert. It was not a playing Little Liza Jane or whatever. It wasn't a Vince Gill CMT special. So, that's the deal, man. It's a lot of stuff to think about. Bo is saying, I dare you to listen to it. Well, I don't want to listen to it. Bo, it's not what really floats my boat, but I have listened to, I probably listened to a good 15 or 20 minutes of Billy Strings, and I like what I hear about it. I like what I hear. So, Erickson's saying he's had good times at bluegrass festivals. I can appreciate the chops. I don't play like that, but I can appreciate that. It's a skill, There you go. So SM is saying that the Neville brothers would give you a twin. Well, back in the day, that was the stock backline. But here's the deal, man. If they give you a twin and that's it, then, here's the deal, man. Turn the reverb up and crank that sucker up and go for it. Quincy James is here, everybody. And now, Quincy, I did an episode this week inspired by a comment that he put on the channel, and I thank him for that idea. A lot of people on this channel inspire this channel to keep going, and I salute everyone. But man, here's the deal: we got 80 people in here. We got to get more than 45 thumbs up, man. Let's get this thing cooking. We're cooking hard. I'm cooking a spicy stew tonight. I'm cooking a spicy stew, bro. This has been a spicy musical stew, talking about people falling on their you-know-whats on Rick Biato. Thank you, Quincy. Thank you, brother. So yeah, here's the deal, man. Lots of stuff happened this week. What do you guys think about Epophone putting rosewood boards and new finishes and custom bucker pickups in their new guitars? What do you guys think about that? It's one of those things that just tempted me, because here's the deal. I sold my last 335 before coming down here. So I don't have a 335 and to do my pretend I'm in Steely Dan stuff, pretend I'm Larry Carlton, right? So I can kind of get those sounds. Wavelengths, thank you so much. Thank you. We're cooking a spicy stew tonight, bro. And you've just added some killer ingredients. You know what you need when you cook a spicy stew? You got to have good ingredients. There we go. We hit that like button and we hit that heart button for everybody that drops. Yeah, so Robert B is saying Epophone is his go-to thing. Here's the deal. Thank you so much, Wave. Here's the deal, man. Those Epophone 335s now are super tempting. More so than a gift for me. More so than just a regular Gibson stock 335, because the Epophone now has a Gibson headstock. It's got a thin finish, like a satin, not a satin, but like a semi-gloss finish. And it's got custom bucker pickups, the good USA custom shop pickups. And those pickups sound amazing. They sound amazing. Switchcraft, Jack, sure, Eric, it says Epophone, but I don't really care about that. I don't care about that. I've got several Epophones here. I be honest, man. I play my silver Epophone Les Paul Custom. I play that sometimes more than other ones. And there's something about even the import pickups on those Les Paul Customs that there's something about the compression in those pickups. They're easy to play. I don't know. Here's the deal. I was not a fan of their Epiphones before when they had Laurel fretboards, but these have Indian rosewood fretboards, custom bucker pickups. Dude, for I think it's $11.99, I can get a 335 with custom bucker pickups, rosewood fretboard, nice finish, attention to detail. That's all I need, dude. That's all I need. Oh, we're knocking them back, bro. Pounding them, bro. Pounding them. So here's the thing, man, because look, I'll show you right now. I've got a all black Epophone Les Paul Custom, but the old one with the old headstock, right? And this was kind of my beater, right? But I had put it's the model of pickup that Seymour Duncan makes that Slash used. And I put these in here because I like the sound of those pickups, not because I'm a huge Guns N' Roses fan. But this dude, I mean, this thing's even the binding's starting to turn yellow on this thing. I just looked at it the other day and I'm like, this thing is starting to look like my old beat up Les Paul Custom that I had when I was a kid. And I wish it said Gibson on the headstock. But dude, is it worth me scraping up $6,000 for that? No. So this, I mean, dude, it's looking more and more like my old Gibson that I had. The wear right here. I took the covers off my thing. He's saying the bodies are smaller. I do not think the body is smaller at all. Not on this. This is double bound. I don't think the body is smaller on this. I might be wrong. But Quincy's saying his 335 cost around $5,000, but I don't think I'd ever need another humbucker guitar for the rest of my years. Worked 10 years in the service for it. Wow. Well, here's the deal, Quincy. Here's what I think why the Epiphones are cool. And they even said it in the video. these new Epophones, right? You're not going to want to take your late 70s 335 to a crappy bar gig, right? But if you start playing a ton of bar gigs and you're in some killer band and you're playing and you're dragging your stuff around downtown, dude, that Epophone for $11.99 is your that's your Huckleberry, man. That's your beater, right? And you would keep the 335 at home, keep it for recording sessions, keep it for videos, keep it for the important stuff, right? But that Epophone is the perfect guitar for gigs. I mean, dude, here's the thing. I would get calls, even in my old ass, I would get a call to go play a pool party in some rich woman's backyard, right? And I'm not going to take my Tom Anderson to go play a pool party. I'm going to take my beater. I'm going to take one of my parts casters. Why do you think I had all these parts casters that I had built and took out on the road? Because I didn't want to take my custom shop Strats and I took an Anderson out for a little while, but I immediately said, this is a bad idea, dude. You know, Christian Hunter is saying he loves rich women's backyards. All right, Ace was scratching at the door. He wanted to come in. So, well, okay, he even wants to get on my lap. Okay, come here, Ace. Well, come here. Come here. Now he wants to play takeaway. Come on, Ace. We don't have, this is only an hour-long show. Okay. Well, if you're not going to cooperate, we're going to commence with the festivities. Quincy says he'd take his parts caster. Well, here's the deal. Parts caster is great, but what if the gig really calls for a 335? You're still going to want to have that beater. Or let's say your 335 is I got you. He's still playing the game. Let's say your 335 is your number one guitar, but you instantly need a backup, right? You instantly need a backup. He's causing problems right now. Okay. You instantly need a backup, then go out and get the Epophone as your backup, right? You could still have your number one because like Quincy's saying 335 is the only humbucker guitar he needs. I would still want to have a Les Paul. I would still want to have an SG. But a 335, I mean, it'll get you there. It'll get you there. But it is a different, I think you play those guitars different. I think they, Les Paul and 335 are probably close, a lot closer. But a 335 is going to have a little hollow, more hollow sound. Les Paul's going to sound a little thicker, a little meatier. And so, you know, the SG has its own sound because the pickups are in a different spot. So, yeah, I hear you, Quincy. But even with an HSS, and I am the HSS former king of HSS. It's still not a Les Paul. It's still not a 335. It's you know, it just because sometimes even the visual of it, sometimes a parts caster is just not visually. I think Ace wants to go out, but we're gonna Ace, come here. What are you doing? He is being Daily Roth right now. He's literally making him chase him. Hey, Lisa. He's making me chase him. So it's you know, the HSS is great, but it's more of a hot rod. It sounds like a hot rodded Strat. It just does. And you know, so that's the deal, man. I don't know why he's bothering me, and I can't get any respect over here. I can't get any respect over here. I got a dog running around my room. I got random people coming in here all the time over here. What are you gonna do about it? Hey, forget about it. Put a piece of gum on it over there. Ace, what do you want? He's literally like running around. So here we go. Here's a question. Shane Shrimp is saying, saw your video today, retired, not dead. Wondering if you can elaborate on what note diarrhea is. Well, note diarrhea. I think everybody knows what that is. To me, for a reason why, like, I don't sweep pick a lot. I know how to do it, and I used to do it a pretty fair amount. But I could never make it not sound obviously like sweeping. There are some things that I do where it's just a little rake and stuff like that. But doing those obvious 2-octave arpeggios, let's see. I don't even know if this is in tune. Doing those obvious, I just, it doesn't sonically appeal to me. I'm one of those people, I like the sound of one note picked. I like to hear the subtlety of that, so I just like hearing that. So for me, doing sweeping, like, it just sounds like diarrhea to me. I don't really like the sound of it. I think Frank Gambale does it in a way that it doesn't sound like that. He's able to do it in a way where it's really interesting sounding. And it doesn't sound like he's just sweeping an arpeggio. And other people are able to make it. Like, here's an interesting idea. Going down one, right, and then back down the other way. Right, now that is more interesting than just doing that over and over again. So there's ways to make it more interesting, but I'm still like trying to chase hitting the pick and the string and getting the perfect sound of just one note. I'm still chasing the perfect one note. So to me, it sounds like the more I get into playing, the less I play, the less notes I play. And maybe that's just musical evolution. Maybe that's what that is, right? So Dave, thank you for being here. Trippy says musicians, especially those who have been playing for many years, are more susceptible to hand and wrist pain due to repetitive motions and potential overuse. How does one control that? Trippy? That is a great question, because when I watch some of these people on Instagram and they day in and day out speed picking and playing as fast as they can, I see pain. The Mr. T, and was it Rocky 3? And he goes, "You have any predictions?" And he goes, "Pain." Right? That's my predictions, is pain. So here's the deal, man. Stop focusing on one aspect of playing guitar. Stop focusing on speed. Start focusing, I pity the fool. Start focusing on playing tasty, cool stuff. Here's the thing, man. I will see, and I'm not going to name any names, right? But I will see some of these guys, and some of them, I've seen them rise up from posting on Instagram or whatever, and now they're doing tours, and they've got signature amps and all this kind of stuff. But I see them just like they're just ripping the pentatonic scale and making huge guitar faces and playing with all this intensity. But I'm like, okay, that's cool, but like, dude, that's kind of like it's like a high school level of guitar playing. And here's something to think about. I'm getting deep in here. I'm going into heavy water here. But here's how you can get out of that, right? It's real easy to sit around when you're playing and just focus on playing over one chord and shredding an A minor lick and just doing that. But instead of doing that, and let me see, I think I got this thing plugged in over here. And this is tuned down to D. This guitar is tuned down to D. Let's see if we can get some volume coming out of this. Let me get the volume level up. So we got this thing, right? So this is tuned down. A guitar is tuned down whole step. Then this would technically be the key of G, I think, right? So instead of right now, I know I got a lot of reverb on there, but think of it like. Right? So what I did there was just walk up the scale, bass note. You could do the same thing if you were playing a blues. Right. Right. So, thinking of playing over changes. Resolving to the 5. So I'm thinking of chord changes while I'm playing rather than just thinking of playing over one chord, right? So what I did there was just walked up. C, D. Then E major. So what I did there to keep it interesting, and then at the end, you could just go off in E, right? Build up tension. Right? You could build tension there. You could sit on one chord there, but I was... So that is more interesting than playing, one key and playing something super fast, but just, I mean, that's a cool lick, but it's just A minor. So maybe, now what I need to do is go. Figure out runs like that can run through those chord changes. So that's a lot more interesting. I'm holding back on purpose, Nikos, because I spent so much time running around so much. But that's just some ideas to think about. Yeah, it's definitely has some flavors of Eric Johnson, and for me, I was never able to figure out exactly what Eric Johnson was doing, but I liked the way what he was doing sounded, and I would hear him hit a bass note and then play something over top of it. And so I never had the focus to be able to figure out exactly what he was playing, but I could hear what he was playing is that he was playing bass notes and then playing stuff over top of it, then playing another bass note. And so he would do these intros like that, where he would be soloing, and it keeps it a lot more interesting than if I just try to just wank in A minor for 10 minutes. You really can't sustain that. So that's just an idea. It's just an idea, you know. But man, we got 85 people in here. Let's get the thumbs up. We don't have a whole lot of time left, and it is a Saturday, and I usually go hang with my wife here in a little bit. But man, you guys have been really awesome here, and thank you. Man, I really like Mick Taylor a lot. I used to listen to Mick Taylor play with the Stones a lot. He was a big influence, and I'll tell you what. Ron Wood was a big influence on me as a kid, and so was Keith Richards. All three of those guys I used to listen to a lot. Listen to the live album, Love You Live by the Rolling Stones. It's got Billy Preston on keys, Ollie Brown on percussion, and I think that's probably the best playing Ronnie Wood ever did with the Stones. Listen to the version of You Can't Always Get What You Want on that album. Listen to the extended guitar solo that Ronnie Wood does on that. It's a great solo. It is a killer solo. So that playing on that particular song, I like that whole live album. I know people don't really talk about that as like a great Rolling Stones album, but that is a live, raucous rock and roll band firing on all cylinders. And yeah, Ron Wood, that'd be another guy. When I need to find somebody who can give me the Ron Wood cut, bro. I used to tell my hairstylist all the time, who do you want your hair cut? Ron Wood. And they used to know who I was talking about. Nowadays, and here's the deal, Ron Wood don't even look like Ron Wood anymore. So that's the reality of the world that we're in now. Yeah, man. Yeah. So yeah, check out that solo. I think that's one of Ron Wood's best solos, and big fan of Mick Taylor. His playing on Can't You Hear Me Knocking, that 59 burst. Now that is the tone of a 59 burst. Can't You Hear Me Knocking, the extended solo at the end, that is absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. Yeah, cool. Michael Thompson is a great. I saw Michael Thompson playing with Animal Logic back in the day. And I didn't know who that guy was, but man, what an interesting player. Great coming up with parts and stuff. He's still doing it. Miss You. Here's the deal. If anybody doesn't really get Ron Wood or Keith Richards, listen to the studio cut of Beast of Burden by the Rolling Stones. Now, everybody can play the intro. Everybody can figure out that intro. The intro to Beast of Burden is easy. But listen to what the two guitars do through the whole song. Nobody can replicate that. Nobody can replicate those two guitars on that song. And I saw a guy me and P-Funk know who recently posted a lesson on Beast of Burden, and I thought, oh great, I want somebody to show me the Ron Wood part. I want somebody to play that. I know what Keith Richards' main part is. I can play that. But what's all that in-between stuff? There's all this in-between stuff. It's a stew. They're cooking this Rolling Stone stew. And I don't know, I've never seen anybody replicate it, not even the Rolling Stones. I've never seen the Rolling Stones replicate what is on that recording. And I'll give you another one. Yes, well, Can't You Hear Me Knocking, Midnight Rambler are great, Earl. But listen to the song off of the album Black and Blue. There is a guitar solo on the song Hot Stuff. Listen to Harvey Mandel. Now, he was hired to play on that record. He was auditioning for the part as a Rolling Stone. Listen to the guitar solo on Hot Stuff. It's a funky tune with a simple Keith Richards riff, but I've never heard anyone ever play that solo. Can it even be done? It sounds like it's been recorded backwards. I don't even know, I don't even think those notes are on my guitar. Hand of Fate is another good one, but that's easier to replicate. The solo on Hot Stuff, I'll go on YouTube every now and then and I'll put in guitar solo Hot Stuff. I want to see somebody play it. I want to see somebody play that solo. I have never heard anyone, and certainly not Ron Wood. He didn't play it on the album. So live, he never played that solo. It is a twister of a solo that I don't even think those notes are on my guitar. So it's some interesting stuff, some gems. I think the Rolling Stones are vastly underrated. There's some great guitar playing buried in that stuff, buried in all the sleaze and the Keith Richards and all that. There's some great guitar playing on those records. And of course, Mick Taylor, Ron Wood, and once he paired up with Keith, there's some, the whole Miss You. Listen to the guitar parts on Miss You. I've never heard anyone play that exactly like two guitars weaving. They called it the ancient art of weaving. Interesting stuff. And maybe that's harder to play than Eruption. There's plenty of people that can go on YouTube and play Eruption, but I don't see any two guitar players getting together and recreating what they did on that recording. And so somebody is saying, was Ronnie Wood originally a bassist? He may have back in those days, he was a bassist in Jeff Beck's band, but he may have just been recruited to play bass, and he did play bass. I think he even played on some Rolling Stones songs. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he was a guy that, hey, you got the right haircut. Here's a bass. We need a bass player. I think he was that guy. He plays a lot of different stuff. He plays pedal steel. He plays guitar. He's played all kinds of stuff. So what he says, he did play on Stone Song or two. Yeah, he did play on a Stone Song or two. So here's the deal, man. It's 64 minutes in. We've had a great Saturday with a little bit of overtime. And I'm going to head out and spend time with the family. But thank you, everybody. I think this has been a great episode. Thanks to everybody that contributed. Everybody party on. And who knows, man, I might be a spontaneous live in the next couple days. So make sure you hit the subscribe button. We're almost to 16K. Tomorrow morning, Beth Amy Heavenstone with Graham Bonnet will be the interview, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will see you guys all in the morning. Thank you, everybody. Have a great and awesome evening. Fucking party on, dudes.